Okay, I think we've got just about everybody that we're going to have today. So we'll go ahead and get started. Once again, thank you all for being here today for this call about request for proposals, interest that we've shared with you. We'd love to answer some questions today and share a little bit about two requests for proposal that we have currently out. So we'll share a little bit about that and also answer a few questions, and then we'll be sharing this recording with you after as well as the slides. So let's jump right in. So here on our call today, we've got several members of our MDHS team. I'm Claire Graves. I'm the Chief Innovation Officer with the Department of Human Services. We've also got Laura Tatum, who's the Director of the Division of Workforce Development and Partnership Management, as well as Samuel Cole, who's our Chief Procurement Officer. So we'll all be sharing some things during this presentation. Our agenda for the call will include just our welcome and some expectations for the call, and then we'll provide a brief overview of MDHS, some of the services that the agency provides either directly or through community partners. Then we'll share an overview of these two recently released RFPs, go over a few key things to remember when considering applying, and then we'll do some Q&A based on submitted questions. So once again, we're so glad that you've decided to join this interest call to learn more about these funding opportunities. And our call today is specifically focused on two RFPs. The first one is titled After School Program Activities, Family Dynamics Programs, and Workforce Training and Education Programs. And the second one is titled Workforce Support Services. Both of these RFPs are currently available on the MDHS website, available at the link listed there. So during this call, if you have questions, we welcome you to type those questions into the Q&A. And while we're not going to be able to answer all the questions during today's call, we're going to post all of the questions along with all of the answers on our MDHS procurement website, and we provided a link there. You're also going to get an email from us after today's call that includes a copy of the slides along with a recording of the call. So first, we wanted to share with you a little bit about some of the services that MDHS provides to individuals and families throughout our state. And once again, we do some of these services directly, and then some of these services we offer in partnership with community partners throughout Mississippi. So we help serve people who need help with food through programs like SNAP and Meals for Older Adults. We help people with getting a job through programs like our Skills to Work program. We do work in childcare, so we support people with through childcare assistance, as well as help finding good quality childcare, and then also through our resource and referral centers throughout the state. MDHS also helps people who are caring for older adults. So we help people continue to live independently as they age. And then the state's Adult Protective Services also comes through MDHS. Another thing we do is help people whenever they need help paying bills through programs that help with utility assistance, mortgage or rental assistance. And then finally, we have programs that help people in supporting their child. And this includes our child support program, as well as helping people whenever they're seeking to establish visitation. So we wanted to share just a few of these examples and then also share some ways that you can learn more. So you could visit our services page on our website, and that'll show you all of those things that I just mentioned, provide links to learn more about those things. And then we also have a way for you to access printable and shareable flyers about specific programs that include eligibility information for those programs. And we know that many of you are serving people directly, and this information might be useful to you. So we encourage you to take a look at those flyers, and if that's something that people that you're serving might be able to access or might have a need for, we'd love for you to share that information with them. So once again, our call today is focused on two specific requests for proposal, And those are after-school program activities, family dynamic programs, and workforce training and education programs. And then a second RFP, the workforce support services. And those are available at this link currently open on our open procurements page on our website. And you're going to get a copy of these slides after, so you'll be able to connect to those links. So next I'm going to turn it over to Laura, who's going to talk a little bit about the Division of Workforce Development and Partnership Management, and then an overview of these two RFPs. Laura?
Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for joining us. We're excited to be able to offer you guys the opportunity to partner with us through these RFPs. The Division of Workforce Development works with community partners to improve workforce participation and connect individuals to resources they need to be successful in that endeavor. We also work with community partners to support the development of the state's future workforce through after-school programs and other initiatives for providing parents skills and supports. You can learn more about our current partners and what they do at the link provided here. So our first opportunity, as Claire mentioned, was the after-school program activities, family dynamics programs, and workforce training and education programs. We are looking for proposals from nonprofit organizations and non-federal government entities to implement after-school programs for Mississippi's youth. Programs focusing on improving family stability and functioning by training, encouraging, and assisting parents in developing the skills they need to be successful. We are also looking for programs for education and work training that serve low-income parents. You can submit a proposal for the after-school program activities, the family dynamics programs, or the workforce training programs, or any combination of the three. You're encouraged to identify the services that reflect your organization's strength and experience. Do not submit proposals that are overly broad or beyond your primary experience or competency. And one proposal should be submitted for all of these services or any of these services that you choose to submit for. However, multiple services will not impact the scoring of your proposal. The second opportunity that we have available now is the workforce support services. This is a new request for us, and we are again seeking proposals from nonprofit organizations or federal, non-federal government entities to provide support services to low-income parents. Those support services could include transportation, childcare, job search assistance, legal assistance, work-related clothing, tools, supplies, and other services designed to help folks to gain or maintain employment. I will turn it over to Mr. Cole, our Chief Procurement Officer.
Thank you, Laura, and good afternoon to each one of y'all as well, too. My name is Samuel Cole. I'm the agency's Chief Procurement Officer, and I kind of wanted to point out a few things with both of these opportunities that we have. Make sure that you can highlight what you need to just to be in compliance if you're looking to do business with us for either one of these opportunities. So the opportunity one, which Laura's talked about, which is the after-school care, family dynamics, and the workforce training. Our first requirement that's gonna come up is our required letter of intent. While both of these procurements are open right now, they are separate procurements. So please make sure that you're paying attention to these dates. Like Claire said, you will get a copy of these, so don't stress about trying to write all this down right now. But our letter of intent is the thing that is vital to be able to start the process. They are due on, the first one is May 29th by 2 p.m. We have to make sure we receive that. If we receive it at 2:01, at 2:05, at 3 o'clock, whatever it might be, unfortunately, we cannot consider you to move forward with the process. We can't even accept your proposal. And if you send the proposal anyways, we just can't, we don't even open it. We have to get your letter of intent. That's so that we can, have our accurate planning and making sure we have what we need. Our second opportunity, which was the workforce support services, its letter of intent is due May 21st. So like because both these are out there, please make sure whichever one you're applying to, you're paying attention to the right dates. If you think you're interested in it, I definitely recommend submitting a letter of intent. We are going to go over some additional information once we receive all the people that have their letter of intent. We'll hold a conference to kind of help you navigate through the RFP and what you need to submit to us as well too. I do want to draw attention also to the proposal submission deadline. June 18th is for opportunity one, and July 9th is for the opportunity two. Please make sure you're reviewing the timelines that are presented in each RFP. This is just kind of the high level overview of the dates on there. And then just kind of in general, talking about the term for these subgrants, both of these subgrants will go into place January 1st, and they will be a 9-month period for the first cycle. From that point on, we will be on the federal calendar, and they will run for 1 year at a time. They will be renewed at the discretion of MDHS. The subgrantees you will receive a notice of the intent to renew at least 60 days prior to the subgrant ending date. And so for renewals, when you do get your renewals, they're for a period of 1 year at a time at the same terms and conditions. We do have the right to modify the scope. And if the scope is requested to be modified, we'll ask for updated pricing. And the total number of renewals will not exceed 4. So the total period this can cover is the 4 years and 9 months. One of the things I've already talked about it too, but the letter of intent, if you do not submit your letter of intent, you can't be considered for award. One of the other things I really wanted to point out to you today too, that this is a unique opportunity. We're not looking for the best applicant that we receive when we do awarding on this. We take in all of the proposals we receive. We make sure that at minimum you've done what you have to do to submit the proposal. We then turn around and make sure you can do the job. We have a scoring committee that goes through and looks at different factors, which are going to be highlighted in the RFP. And we make sure that you can at least score a 75. If you score at least a 75, that means that you can provide the services that we need to help Mississippians. This is definitely unique. So you're not competing against anybody else. You're trying to put whatever you feel like is the best opportunity to get awarded. We're not going to look at your proposal and compare it to somebody else's. Everything's unique because each one of these services that you could provide could be a little bit different than what somebody else does. So don't try to like cut things or make sure you put everything in there that we need to make sure that we can get the most amount of awards out there on the street.
All right, thanks, Samuel, and thanks, Laura. So now we're going to move into our Q&A portion, and all of these are questions that we received in advance from people who registered for this call. So like I said, we're really going to focus on these questions today, but any questions that you submit on today's call or other questions you may have submitted in advance are going to be answered. So we'll collect all those questions, answer all those questions, and then post those on our website. So for today, question one, Laura, is my nonprofit is not 501c3 certified. Do I still qualify for funds?
So nonprofit status is required so that it would need to be a certified nonprofit.
Right, thank you for that. Okay, so question two, can an LLC contract with a nonprofit as a program provider under their grant if the nonprofit is the applicant?
Yes, as long as the nonprofit is the applicant, for-profits can subcontract. They just need to make sure they are following all proper procurement procedures.
Okay. So question three, do these grants offer any opportunities for for-profit childcare centers?
They do. It would be, again, they would have to partner with a nonprofit as the lead agency.
Great. Question number 4. Is there a funding range or maximum award amount per organization?
No, we encourage organizations to review the goals and requirements of the RFPs that we have published and to identify all reasonable and necessary costs associated with the successful operation of the proposed program. Then they should submit their budget in alignment with the proposed scope of work and, of course, all federal cost principles.
Great. Thanks, Laura. So question number 5, is this a one-time funding opportunity or will there be potential for renewal or continuation?
As Samuel said before, at the discretion of MDHS, subgrants may be renewed for up to 4 times for a period of 1 year each.
Okay. Question number 6, what is the duration of the grant? What is the period of performance?
The initial term of the subgrants will be 9 months, beginning in January of 2026. Any subsequent renewals will be for a period of 1 year.
Okay. All right, let's see. Question number 7. Can nonprofit organizations apply for multiple funding opportunities?
They can. It needs to be noted that there would be 1 proposal required per RFP, but within the RFP, if you have multiple programs that you could apply for each of those.
Great. So we're encouraging people to apply for any opportunity that supports the services they provide to Mississippians. Is that right?
Yes.
Perfect. Question number 8. Can we submit more than one program idea or location under a single proposal if they serve the same population?
They can. As I was stating a minute ago, if you have more than 1 program under 1 proposal, you would need to not duplicate services between those programs to the same population. So if you have an after-school program activity, you could provide services to those individuals. And then also they could be in the family dynamics programs because those are 2 separate programs and not the same services.
Great, that's helpful. Okay, question number 9. What are the eligibility requirements for people who want to receive services, and what documents will they need to provide?
So there's several types of programs that are being offered here, and each one has its own eligibility requirements. I encourage everyone to review those eligibility requirements within the RFP thoroughly.
Perfect. Okay, question number 10. How will organizations be selected?
So proposals deemed responsive by our procurement department will be reviewed by committee utilizing a 100-point scoring rubric that is shown in the RFP as well. Those receiving at least 75 points will progress to the funding division for secondary compliance review and for negotiations.
Okay. Question number 11. Are there priority points for organizations that will provide services in rural areas?
Points will not be utilized for this purpose.
Okay. Question number 12. Are you looking for certain areas of the state to be served, or is this for statewide eligibility?
This is open to the entire state. We will be giving priority to proposals that will provide programs to underserviced areas as defined in the RFP.
Question number 13. Are the funds reimbursement funds, or will they be given up front?
So we utilize a hybrid method of funding. An advance may be requested for the first 60 days of budgeted expenses. However, a justification of need letter would need to be submitted. All other claims will be on a cost reimbursement basis.
Okay. And then question number 14. What will subgrant reporting look like, including frequency of reports and types of reports?
Monthly reports or data will be uploaded to MDHS designated platform. These will include general ledgers, support for expenditures or participant data. Annual comprehensive reports will be required detailing program outcomes and fiscal reconciliation. If we ask for any additional reports, appropriate consideration of time will be given.
Okay. All right, thanks, Laura. So those are the questions that we had received previously through people who had registered for this call and prepared some answers for y'all on those. So we are still seeing that people are putting in questions in the Q&A. And like I said before, we're going to take all those questions, make sure we're getting you just the right answers on those, and then those questions and answers will be posted on our website. So what to expect next? The first thing that you should expect is that you'll receive an email from MDHS with a copy of the slides from today. And then we're going to post, like I said, all the questions we received during today's call, along with those answers, including all the questions that we received from people who registered for the call and answers to those questions on our website. And then if you have further questions about the two RFPs or other funding opportunities through the agency, we invite you to contact Procurement Services, and we've got the email address for Procurement Services available to you in these slides. So thank you so much for being part of our call today. We really appreciate your time, and we invite you to also share this recording once you receive it with any other organization that you think might be interested in applying for these opportunities. So thank you so much. That'll conclude our call for today.